nanke bede na yoya. Nanke bede, we nanke bede ya. Nanke bede na yoya. Tsunami yo, tsunami ya. Nanke bede na yoya. When you bring one crown on me don't more. Oh, can of crown on me don't more. Nanke bede na yoya. We. Yeah. Oba mi penu wana menya niya. Sambe ya na me wanwa. Yontia sienko yo nanke bede na yoya. If you see me one empa depa, oba pa say di one benya. You won't fence wo buadio. Me see me tini wija yo. Adia me penso na mi po. Minti mi nya wa kwajoda. Me you ya na mi wane wo. Obi abayu abana be. Me singeli we na me wano. Yontia siepa wonko we. Nanke bede na yoya. Usukura na me dono mo. Se musika nka mesida ya chenwo. Minya sika metonto mabama nwa. We nanti asiecha ye mwe. Nanke bede na yoya. Necha na me dono. Obagi ya mu vedie. Misuba mpenti na mi wane. Nanke bede na yoya. Ukaye de wase mudia na me dono mo. Ukano kurano na me dono mo. Nanke bede na yoya. We. Obi abayo menya mi kunu na de. Menya mi bempa na mo mama so mo nyome. Bemme na suoni mi bewa. Men so matia kanusuo. Yesi mu obi don yo bi don tiro. Onwana me se me don no amoma me no no e. Nanke bede na yoya. Usu kurana me don mo. Obi do bi obi ntiasia. Bisi be ma boya na mi ba. Woni binti na yende. Odon enim sika o. Biche me chance ya mo mana so monyo no. O mana so juna no amane wonso atonu. Nefa ne nyatwa pian tron pie. Enyira no pewiane enumiro. Na de ndesi woni mi bewa. Bo miss me ni bewa. Nanke bede na yoya. Owo anyi ne champon wana me dono. Eti no bia beka bi ya minti yo. Ayon boy ya bana be. Oni ye wona mamia. Missy me na mi dendo. Na won so si mi ni nyai. Ring nyai nam ko wi ya ba be ya ba. Nanke bede na yoya. Nanke bede na yoya. Ukaye de wase mo wana me dono mo. Ukana korano na me dono mo. Nanke bede na yoya. Yeah. Hey. Oh. Hey. Oh. Hey. Oh. Hey. Nana mejuma mi yeyo nyami amawai. Minyu tue mensi yana baby ya. Achede na le nyami di chemi yo. Itu time wa time ko. Utu mi tu an wo sen wakora bo wai. Ebi se do nyami ehura no na wo jura no wai. Otamfo ntimi nsen no. Em sen ye wo baby ro. Eko bi nkuwa na nka mewu. Eko bi nkuwa na nka masei. Nanke bede na yoya. Usukura mia na me kro. Na mi kana genseja. Nana so maro puti ani ajio. So na no mi ya obi do mi wai. Nanke bede na yoya. didn't say. Nanenya me so mpe wa dream poninti. Wo shira me amara ko ho. Apene wu mi ana wiyem. Pem say ye wo bebro. Utimi diana yam do show. Pem say ye wo bebra. Pem say ye wo bebro. O pem say ye wo bebra. Nanke bende na yoya. Uchu mukrana na nekro. Amamponsa wahinia. Ampa mi broni na mi friend wa. Charlie pia wofedia. Kumasi from now. Oyonku pa Mike. Hamburger bontino wa. Asante hinkro no 3. Mike sinke bede na yoya. Yeah. Nanke bede. Nanke bede ya. Nanke bede na yoya. Yeah. Nanke bede. Nanke bede ya. Nanke bede na yoya. Usunami yo. Usunami ya. Nanke bede na yoya. When you bring Ukrano na me don more. Ukana Korano na me don more. Nanke bede na yoya. Yeah. Nanke bede. Yeah. Nanke bede ya. Nanke bede na yoya. Nanke bede. Yeah. Nanke bede ya. Nanke bede na yoya.
Hey. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No one like. Oh yeah. One like. Oh yeah. No one like. Oh yeah. No one. Hello. How you doing? My angel, my one and only. The only one that I'm missing. Where they bring me joy and blessings. You know that I love you. And I can't wait to say I do. But before we walk down the aisle, I just wanna let you know that you're the finest. Now you be the finest being I've seen. You're the brightest. The way you the shine, you the bling like me. You're the highest. When it comes to rating, you're the lead. My princess, my only one lover. Girl, I just wanna let you know that no one be like you. See, I don't go different places, I've seen many faces. No one be like you. See, they cannot replace you, cause you are a blessing. No one be like you. You're driving me crazy, cause you are my baby. No one be like you. No one like you. One like you. No one like you. One like you. No one. About a year ago, before I met you, yeah, there was no possibility for me to be rescued. But thank God I found you, girl. I cannot do without you. Now since I go different places, I've seen many faces that cannot replace you. With you I gain many blessings. Girl, you are my life, you're the finest. Can I be the finest being I've seen? You're the brightest. The way you the shine, you the bling like me. You're the highest. When it comes to rating, you're the lead. My princess, my only one lover. Girl, I guess it's time to let you know that no one be like you. See, I don't go different places, I've seen many faces. No one be like you. They cannot replace you, cause you are a blessing. No one be like you. You're driving me crazy, cause you are my baby. No one be like you. No one like you. One like you. No one like you. One like you. That's what we say. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No one like. Oh yeah. One like. Oh yeah. No one like. Oh yeah. No one. Yeah, you're the finest. Can you be the finest I've ever seen?
Dedication of fun. We also have put together plans as to how we can project the the increase in the level of education we have in our community. And as you heard, Honorable Cassidy said, he's proud that young men and women of the Madingo community are now really gravitating towards education and seeing it as a means to success. And this is what we want all of us to look at. It's not an end in itself. Education, just like money, is not an end in itself, but it's a means to success. And it's a foundation for success. So this administration has put in plans that will be passed on to the next leadership as to how we can better project the increase and enhancement of education in our community as a people. Then we move on to the health side of our achievement. When we took over, in as much as we attach importance to education, we also attach importance to health. And we did some preliminary assessments. There were so many ideas coming through. There were ideas of establishing a clinic, building a clinic, a diabetes center. So many things were coming through. But you have to start from somewhere. And we even, through some deliberation, realized that there's so many of us who live in America, who have insurance, but don't really even understand the importance of our health. Many of us will only go to hospital when our illnesses become so critical. Many of us don't believe in regular checkup. And like the common librarian saying, you ask the librarian, man, how are you? They say, I'm okay, only my head is heavy. But the headache is a result of something. And there are so many of our community members who don't have insurance. So we thought that maybe the first place to start is to do some healthcare in our community, in the United States of America. So we put together a pilot project that would have gone to the various states. And we decided to begin with Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And we did a health outreach to various institutions. Through the dynamic efforts of this leadership, members of the leadership. As a result of that process, more than 20 health institutions appeared and provided services to more than 300 Liberians, Madingos and non-Madingos alike. And believe this when I tell you, there were people at that health fair who had high blood pressure and they came in with soda. And when you have high blood pressure, you also have medical background. Caffeine is something you have to get away from. In fact, there was a specific instance where the pressure was so high, according to one of the medical practitioners, if that person had discontinued, they would have been admitted. And they did not even know that soda was against the pressure. There were people who got tested. There were women over there who were educated as to how to even take care of themselves, how to do a mammogram by themselves, and the importance of mammogram. They didn't know that. There were people, young and old, whose sights were tested. Some needed glasses and they didn't know. But all of this was through your effort, through your support. We told ourselves, I think there's a need for us to reach out to our folks back home. Because we in America, we have the facilities, we have the opportunities, we have so many resources at our disposal. What about those who are back home, who can even get Tylenol or even abroad? And through the hard work of members of this leadership, we began to solicit ideas. And before I go further, there's one person who's not here today. But he's one person that everyone in this room should learn or should strive to emulate. He's a young man like yourself. He's very humble, very unassuming, and very committed to his community. When this idea of a medical mission was first conceived, he was there. He gave us a bedrock. He guided us through the process up to the end of it. And even as I speak to you, he is still there willing to continue any such efforts with an initiative on the part of the administration. He could not be here today because he's also the one planning a family reunion. But some of you might know him. But even in his absence, I want you to hail his efforts. And he's no one other than Dr. Cherno Sila. Dr. Cherno Sila resides in Georgia. He has family members in New York and other places, and some of you might know him. Because he has the experience, and he gave us so many guidance. And as I said, I didn't do the job. There are people who did that job. And when it comes to this medical mission, I can introduce the subject, but I'm not the expert. And it would not do justice to me to be the one to tell you everything about it. There was someone who was empowered, who was trusted, and who lived beyond to that expectation, beyond and above. So I want to take this time to give this mic to him so that he can tell you the details of this medical mission, and then we'll continue our presentation from there. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Joseph Sago.
Whatever.
Well, thank you, the Honorable President. I think we have other activities that we need to attend later this afternoon. So, and you might have heard a lot of status updates while we're in Liberia. But before I proceed, I just want to tell you that without your support, without the support of this community, the medical mission would not have been possible. So please give yourself a hand of applause. Well, like I was telling someone, that this administration, for some of us, for the new incoming administration, we are willing, at least, to work with you. This is going to be a continuous process. When this administration thought about a medical mission outside of the continent of the United States, well, there were many people that actually underestimated it, and others said that we were probably daydreaming. But hope is what we were giving to our people. So it is against that background that this administration decided to work seriously to put this medical mission together. We never did it before, but it was a trial. And Allah been on our side. It went successfully. As you can see, for some of you who still have relatives, and now all of us, one way or the other, have relatives in Liberia. But you see, I can tell you something. I am very blessed to be in the midst of these innovative and hardworking members of this current leadership. It was not an easy task. You know, sometimes this leadership, we will be in a strategy session up to 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning. And some of us that are married, our women will say, well, you know what time the Felmausa business will come to an end so that we'll have some life. Our children will say, well, Daddy, you don't have a time for us. Every time we're in a meeting, you don't even have a sleep. We use the technology, we use the resources of our very, work areas to make sure that our people benefit. And thanks to Almighty Allah, it was because of this mission And it was actually intended to pave the way for future leadership. As you can see, we galvanize and mobilize different resources, not even taking into consideration the expertise that we took to Liberia. Our brothers and sisters were very, very appreciative of what we did for them. So sometimes I know I got a call. A friend of mine would just, tease me and say, "Well, Joe, we heard that you've been crying throughout. So why are you crying over there like a baby?" So, I told them, "Listen, I wish you would have been here on the ground to see real people with real cases." When I saw a lady with twins, and she told me that she walked from Battery Factory to Jacobtown because she could not afford a transportation, and that she had to put one of her baby at the back, and she started walking immediately after morning prayer. So I started walking 5:30 in the morning to come so that I could be seen in this clinic. And from that point, we had one of the nurses, and she told us, "Listen, the only thing I can do in Monrovia to go and wash clothes. If I go to JFK, it costs probably $3.50, at least just for registration. And if I go wash, whatever I earn on that day, I only use that for food, for my children. So there's nothing else I can save, at least to go and to get the medication." So these are some of the things that we take for granted. $3.50. So basically, these are some of the things that we saw on the ground that became very, very emotional. People started coming from 5 o'clock in the morning. You could see thousands of people. At one point, our honorable president became a medical practitioner. So basically, these are some of the things that we saw. As you can see over there, a lady from the picture. Sorry, some of you are not in the from the PowerPoint presentation. Most of the patients that we actually saw, some of them did not even know that they were diabetic. 7 out of 10 people that our nurses and our nurse practitioner doctors saw, their pressure was above 200. In America, if they were here, they would have been admitted in ERs. But it is only God, it's only Allah that's really saving our people. This lady appeared the very day she came. While she was awaiting consultation, she passed out. She got a stroke. The president and some other individuals from the team had to rush to the warehouse to get her, a wheelchair. And also one of the doctors actually, luckily, we carry some blood pressure medication. And at least we save lives. So this is what I'm saying. For some of us, at least we're here working, and we have our relatives over there. We can afford $100, $200. And to give you another example, we also saw a lady that actually, one of our nurses took about $50, and they said, "Well, you know what? Have this." This lady, she lost her only son during World War. He said, "That was my only son." She has about 4 grandchildren. She developed a sickness from her belly. So every time there's a liquid that actually comes from the intestine, and she needed an operation. It's $250. It's for the past 3 years, she has not been able to afford that amount to go for surgery. These are some of the things that we saw. $250. As I said, you know what? When I get there, I can assure you that you have this surgery. Once you return, she said $150. And when I got here, I said, well, Mrs. Sako, we need to help that lady to go for surgery. I said, okay, we have to make arrangement. Alhamdulillah, I just heard 2 weeks ago that the surgery is done. So ladies and gentlemen, you know, you have read a lot on the internet. So the medical mission for the incoming leadership will urge you, this leadership, urge you to please, we need to put our resources together to help our people back home. They need our help. Whatever it takes, let's put our differences together. Whatever it takes, we need to make sure that we provide services for our people. One thing that this administration has done, what we actually did was that to take Felmausa from an organization that is, that was out there, people refer to Felmausa as convention to convention organization. This organization has to transcend beyond that. It has to be a high performance organization. And gradually we're on that way. And I'm very confident that the new administration will follow suit. So on that note, just to give you a synopsis of what transpired, and as part of the achievement of this administration, and that there were institutions that benefited from books. There were more than 26 clinics that actually benefited. There were donations made to the Ganta Methodist mission hospital, and to also Kakata, Kwaduboni, and Kolahun. There are a lot of people that benefited from this mission. This is why we are saying that it was a resounding success. And indeed, we will work with the new administration to make sure that this continues. So, on that note, I will now turn over to my Honorable President, at least to finalize the presentation, and I thank you.
The medical mission is not a success for Mohamed Dukle. It was not a success for Joseph Sako. It was not even a success just for the Liberian Mandingo community. It was a success for Liberia. Today, and you can ask someone who's in Liberia now, as a Liberian Mandingo, you can walk with your heads up high, with pride and dignity, because Felmausa has done something not just for Liberian Mandingo, but Liberians as a whole. And this is something that all Liberians acknowledge and appreciate. The medical mission reached out to churches, non-Muslims. In fact, I remember there was a session when we got to redemption, and while people were waiting to be called for surgery, we're doing a routine awareness program. Like after every 30 minutes, someone will come and tell people what Felmausa is, the tribe that is undertaking this, but at the same time letting them to know that this is our way of adding to the many contributions that other Liberian Mandingos have done in the process of healing the wounds of Liberians as a result of the war. That in as much as we are Liberian Mandingos, in as much as we are Muslims or non-Muslims, our goal is to serve Liberians. That's why you, as we're speaking to them, you are here, you are here, you are here, and we're giving you this service free of charge. So we want you to take that message to your community. And it was very resounding. So people acknowledge it. And I think Mr. Jabate, who also worked really hard to document interviews with non-Mandingos, and you should listen to how much they appreciate what we do and how this has changed their mindset of Liberian Mandingos for generations to come. Even when we continue this, because there will come a time, your child, my child, will have the desire to go back home, maybe to live there, maybe to run for opposition, or maybe just to visit. And they will now have to be ashamed of themselves. They will now be proud of themselves as Liberian Mandingos because they've impacted the lives of Liberians very constructively. And as I speak to you, the VP for administration, because we carry a container of medical supplies and equipment worth over 700,000. And given the limited time, others had to come. I had to stay behind along with the VPA to make sure that these things are distributed accordingly, because Liberia is different from here. Here we respect time to some extent, but there, no. So you even get people to come and pick up their supplies. Sometimes they say, bring it to me. And you know, again, transportation in Liberia is difficult, you know, the traffic. So everything was not done within the time frame when we had everyone there. So the VPA, Vice President of Administration, Honorable Mohamed Kurma, is actually back in Liberia, and he's there to ensure that the distribution will be finalized. And I spoke to him yesterday. He told me, as a matter of fact, the National Muslim Council came and they got their part of the distribution to take to, I think, the Basa community, to a group over there. The 72nd supposed to, group of 72nd supposed to get there, I believe today, to get their part of the distribution. So distribution still continues even in the absence of the other members. And I also want to recognize the efforts of other individuals who really form part of this medical mission, even though they might not be present. And these are Liberians. They are not Mandingos, they are not Muslims, but they believe in the cause of Felmausa. They believe in the cause of Liberians. Since Roberta Williams is not here, but she's one of those who came on board through the efforts of Honorable Joseph Sako. I mean, in fact, every time somebody said this, she would go in her room and just give it, just like all the other women. And it was crying upon crying. As someone said, an accountant turned to a medical practitioner. They're not fun. But we were doing this because of you, because of our country. We have Dr. Nettie Johnson, who was extremely helpful. And I must tell you, not only that we're doing these sessions in the day, but even when we got home in the evening at the hotel, there was also another session, because every time you got to the hotel, you have other people sitting waiting to be seen. So you had to attend to those people. And then from there, you come to a strategy session as to how you can better the day for the next day. So many days, we will go 8 o'clock in the morning and don't go to bed until after 2 or 3 o'clock. But the interesting thing about all of this is that people were just happy. They were just so humble and grateful that they are serving their countrymen and women. And this is the spirit I want this new leadership to take. You take the initiative, and there will be people to help you. And look at the bigger picture. So we want to also thank Honorable Ben Bolowifa, who was at the initial stage. He was able to test all of our equipment to make sure they are functional and they will be useful to Liberians. And he also provided storage spaces for us, and he was there with us all through. He's not here today. Our brother, Jungo Jaba, Brother Jabate, he provided his space for us to store these materials until we ship their own sacrifices on behalf of humanity. You also have a chance. You have a chance to make your sacrifice, and that sacrifice should be given to the new administration that's coming. I'm begging you, if you did not like Mohamed Duque, and because of that you didn't support this leadership, please change your mindset. You might not like Mamadi Sise, or you might not like Mohamed Belete, but whoever wins, I'm begging and challenging you. I'm challenging you to put your support behind the leadership. Because we have an image. We do have an image in Liberia. Liberians don't look at us any longer the way they used to look at us. If you went to Liberia now and you say you're a Madingo, especially from the USA, they look at you differently. They have more regard for you now than ever before. If you want to speak somewhere, other Liberians will shut up. We don't want that to end. We want it to continue. Let us continue to be the leaders so that other Liberians can follow us. That's what the whole idea of Madingo is about. To be a leader and to be an example. And for so many of you who gave your time and support, we really want to thank you. We want to thank you for helping your community. And the same way you supported us, we don't want you to sit back when we shall have left the stage. We want you to join this leadership to support the next leadership. And we know, I'm very confident that by the grace of God, if we all put our support behind the next leadership, Felmausa will be way greater than what it is today. As we leave this stage, let me bring a few things to your attention. It is our goal that Felmausa can be strong enough. And that's why we talked about chapter empowerment. Felmausa is nothing without the chapters. And the chapters will be nothing without Felmausa. So that means we have to work hand in hand. As I said earlier, we are humans, we err. There might have been instances where we made a lot of mistakes. There might have been instances where we failed to empower our chapters in a way that you perceive to be fit. But learn from our pitfalls and our shortfalls and make it better. Empower your chapters. And one way we can start, for those of us who are chapter leaders, to make sure that our chapters are registered in our various states. Let our chapters be recognized legally in the eyes of our state laws. That way, it makes it easy for you to solicit funding, to organize programs, and to represent your people adequately at the state level. And of course, Felmausa can always come and buttress your efforts. 2, as you can see, now I want to recognize someone whom people think of as being controversial. But those of us who work for him will see objectivity in the things that he says and he writes. And when I say the listserv, you know exactly whom I'm talking about. When this listserv started, in fact, when we took over, as you can see, the number of people attracted to the listserv has increased immensely. And not only that, you can also tell that the way we express our thoughts has immensely been refined. It's less of an insult, less of an attack, and more of discussion of issues. But that's the only way as a community we get stronger and better. We disagree to agree, but in a very harmonious, peaceful, and respectful way. And I must recognize Honorable Francis Dwana. Thank you. You have so well served this community and this leadership. Despite his age, he was always subservient to what he was told to do. Despite his age, he was always willing to withdraw his ideas if those ideas were not the best ideas on the table. It's just my 2 cents. I hope I don't lose my job. I will miss you, Honorable Donna. Over 2,000, a little close to 2,000. But today, you should be proud of yourself. And I think this is good news for the next leadership, that you'll be taking over with nothing less than $4,000 in your coffers. And this is the first time in the life of Felmausa that Felmausa has hosted a convention without actually going to someone to loan money. So the convention you see today is out of Felmausa's coffers, or on Felmausa. And this is through the framework of accountability and transparency that this leadership has tried to effectuate. And and we have not reached to the stage of perfection. We expect the new leadership to make it better. We also want you, as chapter heads and as incoming leaders, whether you are on the side of the administration or on the side of the board, please remember that you represent a community and a country. You don't necessarily marginalize your representation to your states, and therefore don't allow your decisions to be beclouded. Whatever you do, whatever you say, think of the impact it will have on those whom you are serving. Hence, the issue of disputes. There will always be disputes in our community. In fact, I always tell people, if you are a leader or you live in a community and people don't talk negative about you, you should worry, because maybe you're a fool. Because only the crazy man, as you notice in some societies, if someone is crazy, everybody will like that person. They can make fun of that person. No one feels any threat. No one says any negative. If you live that guy in a community, then you got a problem. But if you live in a community and people criticize you, that means there's something in you that maybe someone is lacking. So you should take those criticisms very constructively and objectively. And that's something I want you to learn. Maybe we're not too good at doing it. There were so many things that were said about the Duke-led administration. Whether it was medical mission, whether it was convention, only God knows the truth. And some of us will retire, and our conscience will serve us well. And I want you to act in the capacity, so that when you shall retire from the mantle of Felmausa, your conscience will serve you well. And you walk in your community proud of yourself, even if no one has to tell you that indeed that you have done something constructive to this community. And that comes to the issue of disputes. When there's an issue in our community and we don't have the ability to solve it, let's not help to degenerate the situation, which you found very prevalent. And we saw some of it surrounding the convention. There will always be people who want to create chaos, because in the midst of chaos, that's where they celebrate themselves. That's when they become important. So let it be part of your objective. Structures that will better set the objective on your behalf. Maybe this leadership did not do it well. I want you to learn from it and do it better. There are so many things that we need to talk about in our community, and under your leadership, you have that responsibility. And as I said earlier, we will be here to help you. And lastly, before we take our seat, we really want to thank you. We want to thank those who supported us, and even those who did not support us. Because those who did not support us made us stronger and made us better. And we hold no grudges against you. We want to use this opportunity to seek your pardon. There might have been times where Mohammed Dukle, Joseph Sago, Sekou Sana spoke to you in a tone that was not befitting, that was disrespectful. We are brothers. We will always be brothers. As I say, what God has put together, let no man put asunder. We are seeking your pardon on behalf of this administration, whatever we might have done to you. Before we leave this mantle, we are asking you, in the name of God, to forgive us. And whatever it is that you might have done to us, knowingly or unknowingly, we forgive you. We hold nothing against you. And if you were against Duke-led administration and you happen to win, if you knock on my door, I will support you. In the foot. That's someone who also was with us here during the health fair, and then traveled with us during the medical mission. I think had 2 kids, left them here in school, had to travel, or left the job for the sake of our community, and went there and served the community very well. Ladies and gentlemen, please recognize your own sister, daughter, and mother, Makia Kane. Makia Kane. Elizabeth Kamara is not here, but you've heard much about her. She left her baby that was 7 months old, and she traveled. She left all her kids, and she was there. And I thought maybe she was working with Bill Gates because every day she had money to spend. No, it's serious. I'm not making it. Someone to do something. That's how she was. And she still has that energy. The good thing about this leadership, or the new leadership that will come, is that you have the stage has been set for you. All of these individuals are staying strong here and willing to go back and do more and more medical mission or do anything that will support and empower the community. So please don't hesitate to call upon them. Our young men and women, we want to thank you very much. You brought a very new dynamics to our community. You made our young women and boys, young boys and girls, to believe in themselves once more. That they don't have to be 40 years old to make decisions and sound decisions. That they don't have to sit behind closed doors while others do stuff. That they can be a part and parcel of the process. And their contribution is just as important as those of the elderly. That never would have been done if you did not get involved. And with your involvement, you can see the change. We hope that you continue to be engaged and involved so that we'll continue to make our community proud. As we move on to election, which is tomorrow, I've said it, I'm saying it, and I'll continue to say it. Elections tomorrow will not be about either Mohamed Bliti or Mamadi Sise. Yes, you have to elect someone into the leadership. Election tomorrow is about Felmausa. How do we move the agenda of Felmausa forward? So as you go about deliberating on whom you vote for, I don't have control over your decision, and I don't want to be a part of that decision making. But make the right decision. And when you make that decision, stand by it. Because we have a tendency of putting people in office, and by the time we put them in office, we leave them hanging. So if you elect someone, make sure you are there from the beginning to the end. And even if you didn't elect that person, you didn't vote for them, still support them. And for the incoming leadership, this will be the last thing I will tell you, not by death. Winning an election is not the solution. It's not the end to the road. But first being able to understand your leadership. To be able to work with the people. To create that sense of trust, harmony, and peace. That will be your greatest and most important task. Because the moment your leadership comes together in unison, an outside force will always be defeated. But if you are not together, it's very easy for someone from the outside to penetrate. And if you cannot be together, success will be far away from your door. So as you are going through elections, I don't just want you to worry about winning. I also want you to worry about how you have a good leadership so that you can deliver all of the promises you are making to our people. I have no doubt that with unity, success is assured. That when you come together as a group of people, you understand each other, you'll be able to deliver more than we've done. Thank you very much for your support.
Bismillah.
I want to say to the outgoing administration, job well done. I was in Monrovia when you guys went there. Unfortunately, I didn't see enough of your programs. However, there was a lot said about it. When I got back to America, I'm not actually a member of Felmausa as of now, but we're trying to be a member of Felmausa praise song. Your mission in Monrovia really pushed us to that level right now. Felmausa is about promoting Mandingos, period. We have been sidelined in Liberian politics for so long. So please try to promote Menyenya. I know you understand that. Our fathers, my father, Alaji Sekou Belete, and your fathers went into the trenches to fight for this all along. The baton has been passed over to us. You guys are right now in the trenches. Let us join these guys in that trench and fight for Menyenya. I've been to so many Liberian meeting or convention, the LOFA convention in Detroit. I was there. And I realized that most of the people there were either Loma, Kisi, and I mean, they like themselves. Let's like ourselves. I would say this part of my speech in Mandingo. No me ule mo la wati ba ma feka ke dule. Amo ke mo jelefe. The time has come that we take the differences that I see right now here, the politicking, take it from America to Liberia, to the street and the hall of Liberia. We can't fight each other here. We get better fight to do in Monrovia or all over Liberia. It's where we need to make our marks, not here. Your American mission was criticized seriously when I got here. I heard a lot of people talk against it. I wonder, these guys, have they seen what these people did in Liberia? Did they see what happened over there? They did not. They probably sit here on an air conditioner, whatever it is, and criticize you guys. They don't know. You got followers out here. You need leaders out here. When you go back home, please promote Menyenya. I went to Lofa, I went to Banga, promote Menyenya. That's the bottom line. Our parents fought for this. What is it now? Become a jack, government to Mole. I don't care how much education you have. Please stand by Mandingos. And we are joining Felmausa. We are Mandingos in Michigan and in Detroit as well. The promotion we have there is Menyenya, period. I was on Broad Street and I watched a march pass by me, students marching in the streets. Hundreds of people marching. But there's a little girl in the front with an Islamic hairband. Out of all these people, this little girl was singled out. Oh, that man, go get over there. So I asked the girl right next to me, I said, among all these people, that's the only person you saw? Oh, my brother, I just joking. So let's stick to it. For my we went to Banga. Every gate we stopped to. I went with my older brother, Asmana Belete, in New York. We got to the gate. You like it or not, more back, I know speaking my name. You know, you have to respect that. But our people probably sometimes feel ashamed of saying it. Or speaking our dialect even to our own children here. Maybe English can, maybe that's not it. We have to represent Menyenya, period. You know, if you're a PhD holder, please help our people. When you go to Banga, you want to address my parents, my grandparents, they expect you to tell them in Mandingo, wanted to come. We went to school. Our parents sent us to school. Joseph was my schoolmate. Joseph and myself were in Bam going to school. He came to Calcutta graduating. He invited me personally. I went there. He was my personal friend from Bam. There are a lot of people here that know me from Bam, Obiba. Personally. All right? So when we get to that level, whatever education we have, whatsoever our educational backgrounds are, let's go back to that. That's one reason I respect Elijah G. Kuma. I may not be one of his staunch supporters, but he stuck with us. We need leaders like that. We witnessed the election in Guinea, the first time Alpha Condé ran. We all went to Mafanko. He spoke so to them. The Manga people got upset. Anye na yang, anye kreme belate. Anye na suzokan fa anye. Anteson. He went in Kanka and changed that notion. He spoke Mandingo to them. And people say, we will go die for you. That's how it is. African politics, if you look at it, is tribal, period. We don't stick with each other. It's pretty hard. So please, let's support Mayor. And we'll go down there, our brothers in Jacobtown, because we divided ourselves, we lost the election there. Because we divided ourselves in Jacobtown, we lost the election. Won't be able to Mayor will win it. But now that is being promoted over there. Because most of our sisters forget they're in America. I think this can be better. When we get in gathering, I want our leaders to promote that. We in Detroit, we're trying to promote that. Please, let it be part of Felmausa. Whenever you guys are having convention, let's try, you remind people. Those that are going to take this baton after you people, let them remember what we're fighting for. We've been sidelining Liberia for so long, it needs to come to an end. And the only way it will come to an end, we have to promote ourselves. Finally, I will say once again, sir, your leadership so far, I don't know about the other one that passed, but it's the best.
To everybody, a few months ago, me and my friends were having an organization. We had an organization, and one of us mentioned Felmausa to us. So we decided that we want to go on Felmausa website and do the research. So I went to the website. The first thing I saw was the health mission to Liberia. That answered my question. Why answer my question? Because that's what we were about there, is to help each other as a brother, as Mandingo brother. Anybody who travel over there will stay with either me, my brothers, or whosoever that first came there, and then we help the person get on their feet and get a job and then move on, But having that mission in Liberia just answered my question. So I came back to them and said, you know what? There's everything that we can ever think about. That's all Felmausa does. I might be lying a little bit, but that mission alone answered my question. And then count on me. But what I can say to everybody here is not just about the mission. It's about what we can do to support the mission. Wow. Okay? We shouldn't all sit here today and say, okay, we all part of Felmausa. And then when it comes to convention, everybody want to wear the nice suit and whatever you want to wear to come on and convention. I support that totally. But we should also support, like people not finding that we should support the mayor. And that goes to whosoever that's having kid in this country. Please tell your kid to speak Mandingo at home. There's one of the greatest organizations in this country is SIPA, and a lot of people know about it. It's the Jewish organization. If you don't speak Hebrew, you can't be a chairman. And that's what makes the Jewish people better in this country today. This might be a little thing for you guys today, and we all think about Liberia and say, oh, this is Felmausa and it's a Liberian Mandingo organization. It might be a Liberian Mandingo organization today, but it could be a Liberian American Mandingo organization tomorrow. We having kids here, not in Liberia, and if we can be taking our kids back to Liberia, what are we going to show to them? So we as members have to support our leaders, and our leaders have to listen to us. It shouldn't be who knows who policy. This is the organization. It's not a political party. you know, and I've been in the mix of everybody today, and even before that, I've heard a lot of things, and there's a lot of criticism about the leaders, there's a lot of criticism about what people are doing, and who support who doesn't support who. To me, the politics should stop. The policy should be supported. You know, not because you're CDB and then the other person that is running is a CDB, or not because you're Kamara, because the other person is running is Kamara, then you have to support that person. You should support the policy, not your brother. We are brothers here. If we were not brothers, then we wouldn't be here today. And that's what I'm telling everybody. You know, and that goes to that. If we consider ourselves as a Mandingo people, just a common example, if you were in Liberia as a popular person, you know, I'm just saying for a common example, Bro Siku is here today, and everybody call his name. Siku Juna, who's that? Oh, he's a Mandingo boy. Everybody recognize him just by his name. And if you see them on the other tribe in Liberia, and they offer drinks to everybody, when they get to you, they see your name, then they will change the drink. Once you start drinking, they make it drink. Nobody can say it. So I'm saying to everybody today, if you don't conduct yourself as a Mandingo person, if you don't recognize yourself as a Mandingo, you lose that dignity, you will look for it and you will never get it back. So thanks to everybody.
I think we have a couple of things to say to this community. Everything that I had to say, I think the guest speaker talked about them. Everyone who knows me, my association with the youth, I always strive to encourage education. And I want to thank everyone who goes on that list. Thank you. You've shown to me that you are making progress. I read about a lot of your read-ups, even though for the last 2 years I have not written, but I learned a lot from you. Most of you guys have made progress. The only thing I will tell you, please do not curse at one another. Please stop that. We always read, and there on a couple of occasions I have called individuals over telephone and told them, please don't do that. And they will show me, okay, be very simple, will stop that. That list is good.
Thank you.
You're right, and most of you are making a lot of progress in that area. We lacked writing capabilities, but I can see improvement in our community. The next thing I want to talk about is education. Well, when I listened to an interview conducted sometime with Condoleezza Rice over MSNBC, they asked a question about what they did in Iraq. She said, what we know today can affect what we do tomorrow. But what we know today cannot change what we did yesterday. So our situation is clear in Liberia. What we know today about Liberia is that the Mandingo people were not involved in politics because we were not educated the Western way. Amara is respected in Liberia because they know Amara is a Harvard product. So if we can put a lot of Amaras out there, we will get the same respect. So let's not be left out of the Liberian community. The only way you can help Liberia is to read the history of Liberia, because everything that these people say over there are those ones that the American Liberian wrote. And no one will change it. They will always read to satisfy their own interests. So we have to read for our community to change what is there. And once you are not educated, you cannot write. So I urge everyone that for us to empower our community in Liberia, we know when there was time to fight, the brothers were there. We helped them, they got the weapon, and they fought and defended us. Now it is time to empower our youth over there, our community over there. And the only thing you need to give them over there is education. So when you empower them without education, they can fight. The only thing I will tell the administration, whatever administration that is coming, that let's try to support the education program over there. Every time you call for contribution for the education program, you probably will find 1 or 2 person paying. Please, if we can pay $25, let's try to pay it so that our brother can learn. Then we will set up a system where we can hold those brothers accountable. That we are helping you to go to school. When you graduate, you need to give something back to that community. I have enough time, but that's my message. Let's support our medical missions. Let's support our educational missions. Let's pay. We should not only pay money to go to dance, but let's pay money and say let the other people enjoy it, so that in the future they will take care of the society. Not other their money to enjoy. So thank you, Mr. Guest Speaker. Yeah. So we want you to be visible.
Thank you.
And this is very serious. We almost lost our program for today and our elections tomorrow. See the lady out there? She's very, very angry. As you can see, they have other programs going on here. And we keep telling brothers and sisters, stop walking around yelling around the place. Someone went out there, they were talking so loudly and disturbing the other people, and the lady went to approach that person, and the person became very violent about it.
Of MC now. We'll now call on our honorable chairman of the board. Oh, okay. Anyway, it's always honorable man. Honorable A.B. Kalilu Kroma.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it pains my heart to have this last opportunity to address this August party. On a serious note, it has been a rough ride. Our dynamic, energetic, potential, far-sighted President Honorable Mohammed Duglet, the honorable members of the executive team here present, dynamic and far-sighted, hard-working, very courageous members of the board director of Felmausa. Our dynamic guest speaker, a guy who you can notice he was called just a few minutes to turn and he still show up to show how much he loved this community. Honorable Anthony Kessler. The Union of Librarian Association in the Americas. So that big men sitting on our midst today. All the Librarian for America, he's the president for all of them. We also have in our midst another board member of ULA. And then we got 2 board members of ULA here. And so we'd like to say, gentlemen, thank you for being here. Only female lawyer in our midst. We also have in our midst the president of the Kwame Boni Madiga Association, who in fact has been all of our situation overcoming. And I'm glad that I have this opportunity and through the far side of the president that I will have this time to address this August party with the amount of time that I have. Propensity to talk about what it is. So I can do introspection as well, Mr. Ronald. Well, on a serious note, and then let me finish my address situation here. And our dynamic delegates, guys who have spent everything they have in the midst to make sure that Felmausa be what it is today, welcome. And to our candidates, the guys that want to send in the footprint, that Mr. Duglet and his team have left, and the footprint that we may have left, the guys who want to send it, I want to say welcome. And another person very important to all of us today, maybe tomorrow he'll be the most important man, or dynamic chairman of the Election Commission, Honorable Dr. Mansali, and members of the Election Commission. Well, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, and then to our imams in the house as well. Rough year for me. I have been vilified as the guy who is the troublemaker. Matter of fact, some people want to walk around and say the man is the most dangerous man in my community. And I took all of that. And you know what? That person, those that have had those views, I do not have anything against you. Because if you do not examine me from those prisons, I will not be the kind of leader I think I've been, and I think people who know me have thought I am. So I appreciate all the criticism, constructive or whatever way you take it. That's something we must accept as leaders. I have not been this pure guy who has been out of fault. I'm very faulty. I have issues, I have problems. But I can tell you, everything I've done in this organization, from the day we started Felmausa, from those phone calls from Minnesota to all around, from the time we're given the opportunity to write the constitution of this organization up to now, I have done all I can from my head to my toes to make sure this organization reaches this stage. I want you to understand everything I did. I can tell you, I have not been the perfect guy, and I have not been the very easy guy to work with. I think you see all the two presidents we had, all of them have problem with me. And I'm not doing that, I'm not saying that with pride. I'm saying that with a lot of heavy heart. Because Douglas is a decent guy. He's a very hard-working guy. He has his own, but what we have had in all of our situations has been personality clash. And a misunderstanding. Rich McConnell was a guy who I think he was just a very sober-minded guy who would know who has this organization at heart to the best of his ability. But we have our disagreement. We have our disagreement with the education community thing. We fought just for procedure. I am from the old school. I am a grandson of a paramount chief. And I'm a police officer by training. I am a criminal justice practitioner. So I love to go by what the system is. And so, my people, if you saw me trying to be persistent with this project proposal for the medical mission, it doesn't mean that I did not, or the guys on the board, if you saw that we were very persistent, we wanted to see certain things done, it was not that we do not love the medical mission. It was not that we did not want, the thing this brother is talking about, the thing you guys are showing here, I formed a village town of Gompa City, Nima County. I can't support all those people in Uganda. If somebody has this five-sided net to carry medical mission to those people, who am I to not live up to that expectation? Who is Richmond Kumar, Mr. Lamin Kumar, all of those guys on the board? Who are we? This organization was created to help the Mandingo people to also establish procedure and system. Yes. Before the medication was delivered to the people there, we had to do the procedure the way it should have been done. Like I said, Dugle is a decent guy, and I love him. I'm older than him. I love him because he has this community I had very dearly. But we had problems with regards to how we do certain things. And at the end of the day, we succeeded in getting each other to understand where we are. If Dugle and myself had to do this thing all over, it's going to be different. Maybe we'll have the opportunity one day to do it all over again. But I just want to tell you, the medical mission that you saw going around that went there, none of us on the board was against the medical mission. Nobody, not a single person, every single day, we were procedure, and we had differences in which that procedure was, and that is what we did. That disagreement continued until it reached Monrovia, and the disagreement, we're still going to talk about it after the convention. We're still talking about disagreement. So, I know the effect of the medical mission is highly appreciated. The work that was done by the medical mission. The work that was done by the medical mission in Monrovia was something that we want to live with and live for, but we still have problems in which this process was done, the way it was communicated to us as the higher decision-making body of the organization. We thought there was certain procedure that was not done, and that's why these guys are sitting here, very sober-minded guys, said, "Look, let's do it the right way it should be done." Having said that, I like to go back to what we've done as an organization and as the higher decision-making body that you put all your trust in. The national are comprising guys who are heads of the various states and their representatives. They are the fulcrum upon which Felmausa should run. All of the presidents and their representatives make up the national board of directors. So in essence, they own the national, they basically are the touchbearer of the organization. That's why Brother Donna and his group of people say they are the higher decision-making body in the organization. Bosses. One that set policy procedure for this organization. And so I just want us to now extend. I want us to please give a round of applause to our bureau, to our board director, please. I want us also, I regret myself, to also please stand up and give a round of applause to Mr. Douglas and his team for a very good job. This is our business. We are Mandingo people. Like Mr. Belita said, we are Manyan the mother. So we are, Manyan the mother. That's what we are. But everything we do as Manyan, we must understand, we've been doing it all along, from the days of Massa Musa to Samori Toure, to all of the guys, and to Saboso Kamara. The guys that set the basis for us, for what footprint we want to follow. There were some mistakes that I made in creating all of these standards for all of us. I want us to, this generation, this organization should be used as a conduit, as a platform, so we can start to organize our behavior. No, we cannot continue to do that, gentlemen. More care organization for one meaning organized that. If you do not do that, if we don't agenda that, we will have problem. We have to start to straighten that out. And number one, number two, like the brother is saying, we the Mandingo people, we don't respect two set of people. We don't respect our educated people, we don't respect our leaders. If we do not continue to do that, if we do not respect our leaders, gentlemen, we are doomed to fail. Forget about me, forget about every grown. Now listen, my brother, we'll get there. At the end of the day, gentlemen, we have a responsibility as a group and as a community. Our responsibility is to hold our leaders responsible. We have to be able to hold our leaders responsible. If our leaders screw up, if every command screw up, I know so many people have had the opportunity to tell me that in no uncertainty. Just the morning, some other blacks have made that every command is the biggest problem we ever have in the community. I agree with you, and I agree. If Mr. Douglas does it, tell me, do not undercut your leaders. It's very, very important. This organization should be the conduit that we use to organize ourselves, and we can take it and export it into Africa and other places. That's the reason why, if you know the secret why they say every command, every day behind the thing you're making your politics, that's the secret. My secret is this organization will be transformed into a platform where all of our issues that we find disorganized all around, we can straighten it right here in Felmausa.
Yes.
I have sleepless night. I have all of these things going. That is it. I saw brothers die in my hand. They died. Young guys who was 15 years old, 12 years old, who did not have the opportunity to be where we are today. I saw the dead body of my little brother doing it right into my hands. I mean, I saw Lai, the one that doing it older, and I saw his body right there. So to find out that we cannot start to build ourselves from this understanding, it is already happening. That is my passion. And I'm never going to relent. Leaving the chairmanship of Felmausa, it's like nothing to me than the passion I have for this community. If you think every command is going to disappear in thin air, you are lying to yourself. This organization is going to be straightened up. It's going to be the way we plan it, the way we set it up, the way the constitution says it will be there. I will be in the corner. I will be in the corner every day. I'm not going anywhere. Now, I want you to understand, we've had series of situations. I've discussed with the president at one point in time so we can have ID card for all of the people here. This is something that the board did not complete, we did not accomplish. We had thought that amidst all of these situations, we can have 1 or 2 projects to go through, but several of the medical mission took precedence, which is very fine. But I am hoping that the next board director, the next chairman of the board director, and the next president will agenda this issue of ID card and the healthcare thing that we talk about. I want Felmausa to be able to provide healthcare in the various states that we can use as a pool to help our people who cannot afford to buy insurance. I want to be able to have ID card so that some of our brothers and sisters who are in the other areas like the health breeding and other things that cannot afford ID card for identification, so they can have an ID card, a system of identification that they can refer to in all of the areas. That's something that Felmausa will have to start to undertake so that we can boast of something like that. And people, my president spoke about what the organization can give back to our people. Our leaders now should start to think about giving back. What can we do? We should now include in our agenda, in our information system, as to what is it that we can afford to provide to the states while we move ahead towards this system. Programs, we should allow the various states to come and give us state of affairs. Let them tell us exactly what is it like in the various states, so we can see exactly where they are. It's good to call the new state to come and talk, but what about the old states? The old states who have been working with you, who have had a chance to be there, let's hear from our very president as to where they are and how we can help them in making this organization a better place. I hope next time around, the next something, I will be there. I will make sure it's done properly. I'd like to say to you again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve you. I'm not going to go away. I will be here. If you need somebody to talk to with regards to where we're going, I will be here. Thank you very much.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I sincerely apologize for coming late. I had some engagement to attend, and I got here. I've been struggling with the road, and I think I've been with the Secretary General, on the phone, tried to get here, but unfortunately I missed that opening prayer. Having said that, I am here to make the last dua. And this dua, I'm taking it from the Holy Quran. That is, Rabbana Atina Fi Dunya Hasanatan, meaning, Allah, please give us all the goods we're looking for under the sun in this earth first. Because if you have a better living, then you can have a better judgment how to get to heaven. May Allah give all of us a heaven. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب أمسينا وأمسى الملك لله والحمد لله ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله اللهم إنا أمسينا منك في نعمة وعافية وستر فأتم نعمتك وعافيتك وسترك علينا في الدنيا والآخرة يا حي يا قيوم بك نستغيث فأصلح لنا شأننا كله ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. May Allah accept our prayer.
To convince you as to why you should put them into office for the next 2 years in Felmausa's history. We need your help in making this event successful. We need you, and we need you to remain in your seats. We are almost at the verge of losing this place and losing the hall or this convention place for the rest of the convention. We have people sneaking and coming through the back door. She's warned us seriously, if anyone should come from the back door, if anyone should call you and you should go and open the door for that person, they will shut down everything. And so many persons in here, I think 100 persons. And they don't care whether you went out. The moment you walk through that door, they take a tally, and then they know that they have 100 persons. So if you come in, please have your seats. Let's do this thing speedily and get out of here. As a matter of fact, we're not going to have the dance here tonight. We're having a dance at another hall, and we'll be there up to 4 in the morning to make up for yesterday.
The candidate that successfully qualified to contest the position for General Secretary, Brother Al-Hassan Donzo, to please give us a 2-minute presentation on some of the good things that he has in mind.
Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, President of ULA, members of the Election Commission, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is El Donzo. I live in Minnesota. I am a full registered member of Minnesota Mandingo Association. Currently, I am serving as the president and the publisher of an independent Mandingo website called thevoiceofmandingo.com. I have served as president before as High School Press Association of Liberia. I have served as president of 7-Day Avanto High School Press Association in Liberia as well. The reason I decided to run for the position of General Secretary for Felmausa, very simple. I have a passion for this community. I love this community, and I want this community to succeed. I can tell you that during the former president of the Federation, Richmond administration, I worked with him to ensure that he succeed. Likewise, Mr. Dukley. He can tell you that every day and night, I'm working for this community. Voice of Mandingo was established with the aim of giving our people who are voiceless in our community to be able to speak on issues affecting our community. I'm proud today to say that the current chairman of the Federation, Brother A.B. Kroma, on a number of occasions have benefited from the Voice of Mandingo. Ladies and gentlemen, without taking much of your time, currently I'm working as supervisor for Wells Fargo. I am responsible for over 1,000 Wells Fargo employees in the great state of Minnesota. I'm responsible to do their access card. That includes new hire, terminations, replacement badge, etc., etc. I've been doing that for the past 6 years. I have people working for me, master degree, bachelor, high school, white, black, you name it. But one thing that makes me strong is my intelligence and being able to listen and learn and move forward. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the responsibilities of the General Secretary of the Federation is to work with the local media and also the operation of the Federation website. I'm not strange to web management. I'm currently working as a publisher of the Voice of Madingo. At the same time, I have established a solid relationship with the publisher of Madingo Nation, Liberian Journal, Limani, etc. Just to conclude, everything that we do on the website is very, very important. Last month, I got a special phone call from Liberia. I'm a young person. Someone called me from Liberia by the name of, he said, hello, can I speak to Al Donzo? I said, who's it? He said, this is a Councillor Charles Bronskin calling from Liberia. So what? Councillor Charles Bronskin? So yeah. I said, what's going on? He said, this is Al Donzo? I said, yeah, this is Al Donzo. So I'm calling you because you have been doing a great job for the Madingo community in the United States. Therefore, we need your support to join the Labour Party to move Liberian forward. That showed that everything that we do on the website, people are reading it, people are following it. And today, I can tell you the total hit of Voice of Madingo is over 3 million. So let's work together as a team. Let's not condemn one another. And let's not use the listserv to destroy each other. The listserv should be there as a marketplace of ideas. Like the election commissioner just said, you want to give me 2 minutes, and I believe the 2 minutes time is over. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
So moving forward, I'd just like to take less than a minute as I call the commissioners so they can stand, so you can know the people who are doing the work openly and behind the scene. It's my pleasure to announce our sister, Mama Dole Dukle, who is not only a commissioner but a fresh graduate from the Temple University College. Sirleaf, who is not only the vice chairman on the election commission, but the chief go-in-between person when it comes to crucial matters that sometimes give the commission, the whole commission, some very severe headache. So we let to recognize it. Well, most times you will be thinking that whenever you have 2 soirees on the team, maybe that's not too much of a plus. But these 2 soirees in the presence of Brother Garfield Soiree from all the way in New Jersey and Brother Sheikh Soiree from all the way in Minnesota, they have been able to keep the electricity between the 2 poles, very energized. So on that note, I mean, you know who I am already. On that note, I'd like to conclude and turn over to the moderator so they can keep the program off. Thank you very much.
Ensure that we make this very brief. So it is my honor now to open this debate. Of course, I have to duly recognize the distinguished personalities among us today, prominent among which is the Honorable President of EULA in the person of Mr. Anthony Kessley, and other distinguished members of our community present. This debate is not about, who can stand up here and say the best of things. These 2 gentlemen are brothers, so basically what we're trying to do is for them to come and tell us what their platform is. It's not about demeaning anyone, shaming anyone. In the end, hopefully, they will all get together and, talk about what a nice experience they've had up here. There's no need to be nervous. If anyone is nervous up here, that will be me. Given the fact that, I'm not even prepared for this. So nobody should think that, they are less prepared than I am. So having said that, I want to introduce my colleague here, Brother Gofi Kosha, also from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Of course, my name is Mohammed Sharif. from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We want to go to the first question of the debate. This is the second presidential debate. The first one was held in Minneapolis, Minnesota 2 years ago, and this is the second in the series of that debate. The first question will go to Mr. Cisse. And I will be asking the first question. First question, Mr. Cisse, is that there's going to be an issue of crisis management. Crisis management is very crucial to the existence of this organization. There was an incident on June 11th in Philadelphia. There was an incident on June 11th in Philadelphia. Your campaign has not apologized. I'm told that the two campaigns should introduce themselves. So with that said, we'll go to Mr. Billiter to introduce himself and tell us in 2 minutes, 2 minutes, actually 2 minutes, and we're going to control the time in 2 minutes what exactly his platform is, and introducing himself.
I want to express my profound gratitude to be here. I also want, before I begin, I want to say, in consonance with what was demanded today by most of the speaker at the previous occasion, that Mandingo ethics should be our prime objective here. I want to first of all tell you, Anula. Okay. Beyond that, looking at the time factor, the time given us, I want to go immediately with the platform. First of all, my name is Mohammed Billiter, Mohammed S. Billiter. I a son of the late Alhaji Sekou Billiter, who was the chairman of the National Muslim Council. I have served in many areas. Starting from back home, I was the Secretary General of the Eagle Sport Association, and my contribution in there at the time was to change the psychology of how counties select Mandingo talents in their respective counties. And that product is one I can present to you. Sekou Jina is here today, and experienced Sekou. Psychology can be recruited from various counties. We changed that psychology, and I play a major role in that.